brothers, sisters! Welcome to the cabin. We have a special evening ahead of us. All Hallows Eve is upon us, and the time is right for the ultimate mana brew. Today's unlucky ingredient, you!
Cut! Are we sure people are gonna like this? No, not really. Happy Halloween, Planeswalkers! I hope you've enjoyed your spooky season, and I think it's time we end it with a bang. That's right, one last ultimate spooky deck to go. Our commander is none other than the Reaper King himself. I chose this card because it captures the Halloween theme perfectly. The Reaper King is a 6/6 Scarecrow that we can play 10 colorless or Wooburg for. His first ability gives other Scarecrows you control +1/+1, but that ability isn't important. What really sells this card is whenever another Scarecrow enters the battlefield under our control, we can destroy target permanent. Now this is a really strong ability, but the only problem is Scarecrows are terrible. Luckily for us, we have Changelings, so the plan is to play some Scarecrows, but fill in the gaps with a bunch of Changelings or play cards that makes our creatures Scarecrows. Once our opponent's boards are destroyed, and they're truly terrified, then we'll use some sweet combos to finish the game off that are exclusive to the Changeling strategy. Now before we get started, two things. If you want more spooky content, check out my first ever live stream tonight, and if you have a commander you want featured in a video similar to this, leave it in the comments or join our Discord. Starting our freak show off, we have Changeling Outcast, which like other 1-drops in this list are used for after we have the commander on our battlefield for removal. Heap Doll breaks the meta by actually having the ability to do something. We can exile a card from our graveyard. Jawbone Skullkin can give haste to our commander or 3 other creatures in our deck. Moth Dust Changeling is just another 1-drop for our commander, but at least you can give it flying. Universal Automaton again is for our commander. Amiiboy Changeling is a sweet card as it enables a lot of combos in this deck by giving creature types out to other creatures. Masked Vandal can remove some annoying artifacts or enchantments. We just need a creature in our graveyard first. Metallic Mimic is here to buff some of our Scarecrows and offset persist triggers. That way we can do some looping with our commander. Painter's Servant, which may just be the scariest Scarecrow of all time because of a certain card. Scarecrow Guide is here for a sneaky reach and give us the right color in a pinch. Shire Scarecrow is another way to filter our mana only once. I guess they're very scared of that card. It should go without saying now that every Scarecrow we play in this deck is a removal spell in addition to anything else it does. So naturally, these cheap 2-drop Scarecrows are still good even with how bad they seem. Unsettling Mariner, another great Scarecrow that offers early game protection to our key pieces. Bloodline Pretender can grow fast and become a good beatstick if our combos fail. Farmstead Gleaner grows itself into something useful with time. Mirror Entity is a Scarecrow that lets us dump mana to pump our board. Realm Walker to play Scarecrows off the top of our library. Risen Reef, now before you type, remember we're playing a lot of Changelings that count for Risen Reef's ability, but we also play some cards that make our creatures every type. And trust me, when you're playing cards like Heap Doll, our deck needs all the value it can get. Scarecrow is a generally good Scarecrow card for a change. It lets us get rid of the Scarecrows after they've entered the battlefield in exchange for some cards, and then we can bring them back when our commander's out. Scuttlemutt is really just a mana dork. His second ability will rarely be useful. Soul Herder to blink our Scarecrows for more value, or Risen Reef. Taran Mauler is the deck's removal magnet. Usually we can throw this card out and some removal is going to be thrown at it, and if it doesn't get removed, well, then we're going to kill a player. Wildfield Scarecrow can find us lands. Wing Rattle Scarecrow is part of a combo with our commander, but I'll cover that at the end of the deck list. Chameleon Colossus is a Scarecrow with a mana sink. Graveshifter to get back important creatures. A regular cohort can destroy 2 permanents with our commander out because it makes an extra body. Perforos God of the Forge because it's a finisher with our infinite loops. Scaretiller is a Scarecrow that will let us ramp. Elish Norn, Mother of Machines to make all our ETBs doubled and turn off our opponent's ETBs. Terror Peaks is a replacement for Perforos because consistency will win you games. Turn Timber Ranger is part of an infinite loop, we just need a few pieces and then we can win with it. Rattle Blaze Scarecrow is another piece of the persist combo with our commander, it's just a backup for that consistency. Our first spell is Cloud Shift to bounce any of our creatures for extra value or to dodge removal. Source of Plowshare is our only removal spell as our commander is the removal, but we need a way to exile just in case. Counterspell to, well, counterspell. Dovin's Veto to offset the combo players. Farseek to ramp us, and we are playing Triumphs. Heroic Intervention to protect our permanents. Nature's Lore to find more lands. Eerie Interlude lets us bounce any number of creatures, plus it lets our creatures dodge board wipes as it says next end step. Peer Pressure is a funny thief spell that works rather well with our deck because we play a lot of changelings. It'll let us steal some creatures. Coveted Prize because we should be able to get a full party easily, especially with all our changelings, and we can search for a missing combo piece with this card. Farewell because we are playing white. Finally, Commit to Memory for Smothering Tide value, and a non-counter counter can be really useful. Now for our artifacts and enchantments, I'm going to start with the ramp. First we have Soul Ring, Arcane Signet, and Fellware Stone. Since we have 5 colors, any color is good. Chromatic Lantern to fix our colors, Realm Breaker, the Invasion Tree to steal land, and with the help of Maskwood Nexus, we should be able to grab every creature in our deck for 10 mana. Timeless Lotus, which can tap and play our commander, Chromatic Ori as a mana fixer, and it controls cards in the late game. Now for everything else, we have Arcane Adaptation to turn our Scarecrows into Praetors, Demons, or Gods, it just depends on the cards in our hand. Maskwood Nexus to make all our creatures every creature type and give us a 3 mana way to trigger our commander. Grindstone works with Painter's Servant to mill a player out. It's a 2-card combo that's pretty easy for us to pull off. Mimic Vat will make use of our lost creatures, as will clone the most recently killed non-token creature. Heuristic Study should fill our hands as not many people like to pay taxes. Guardian Project is more card draw. Panharmonicon to double our ETBs. Virtue of Knowledge will also double our ETBs, and we can copy a trigger before we actually play the enchantment side. Reflections of Lipjaro to make tokens of Scarecrows as they enter. Smothering Tithe will ramp us, and it works really well with Memory, as not many people can pay 2 mana 7 times. Liliana's Contract is a fun alternate win con since we play so many changelings. For the mana base, do what fits your budget best, as it is a 5-color mana base and those can be quite expensive. But an important land to include is the World Tree, because with Maskwood Nexus we can pull every creature out of our deck and win the game on the spot. Now for the combo section, I'll be covering one of the combos featured in this deck, but there are more for you to find, but I'll leave that for you. The combo I'm covering involves Reaper King, Wing Rattle Scarecrow, and Metallic Mimic. Need Reaper King and Metallic Mimic, naming Scarecrow on the battlefield. Wing Rattle Scarecrow should be in our hand. Then we'll start the combo by casting Wing Rattle Scarecrow by paying 3 mana. The Scarecrow will enter the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter on it due to Metallic Mimic. Reaper King will trigger, will destroy Wing Rattle Scarecrow. Wing Rattle Scarecrow dies, triggering the Persist ability, returning it to the battlefield, but instead it will get no -1/-1 counter due to Metallic Mimic, because it'll instead put a +1/+1 counter and they cancel out. We can then repeatedly kill the Scarecrow for infinite ETBs for Terror of the Peaks to finish off the table. That's going to do it for today's deck, and I do hope you enjoyed it. Let me know how I did, or tell me a scary story in the comments below. If you want to support the channel, subscribe or join today, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.